Hi everyone, this is Annette from Coeur d'Alene Soap Works, and I want to introduce you to our soap planer and beveler. The overall dimensions of the beveler is roughly 5 by 7 inches. The bevel bar is set at a 45-degree angle so that you can get good even bevels all the way around your soap. And the cutting blade is set at approximately 1/16 of an inch. It is the thinnest that we can set it so that you can get good results from your planing, but still not remove too much of your soap. This is a 4-inch wide painter's blade, so it is a razor and it's not a knife, so watch your fingies. Now, to use the beveler, I usually don't take off my bevel bar. I usually have plenty of room with it, but you can remove it. Take the hardware off and slide it off. Oops, there. And that way you have the whole surface to work with if you like. Now, the first thing to do when you're wanting to bevel or plane your soaps, oops, wrong one, is you can push this bar across your board from bottom to top. That will work. What I find, if your soap is a little bit on the cured side, or if it's the least bit crumbly, what you're going to find when you push it across, you'll get to about here. As your soaps start curing, the edges will get harder faster, and this blade can sometimes just catch that corner and just knock it off. So what I found a way to plane your soaps and eliminate most of that problem, sorry, I have a kitty, is to run your soaps across the blade at an angle, and it seems to eliminate most of that problem. So you don't have to press hard. The harder you press, the more soap you're going to drive down into that blade, and the more soap you're going to take off your bars. All you need to do is hold the bar steady with the flat surface of the planer and push it across the blade. And that's it. And there you've got your plane. Notice where I have my hands also. I don't keep them down near the blade, but out top of the soap. Now, and that takes care of planing the sides of your soap. One thing you can do with your shavings is just give them a little twist. As you can see, they're almost in a curl shape as it is, and that is from pushing the soap across your planer at an angle. It kind of gets that curl motion going. And that way you've got curls that you can use for other soaps. I've got a lot of different little curls here that I've done to decorate other soaps and cupcakes and things like that, and your soap tops. Now, if you want to plane your flat sides of your bars, sometimes you'll get air bubbles or you'll get stearic acid bubbles, and it just gives kind of a rough texture on your flats of your soap. You just do the same thing. Put it on its side and run it over at an angle. And there you have it. And this is where you get your bigger curls. Now, if I have a whole loaf of soaps to do like this, you get 2 curls off of every soap, so I get 18 bars. That's 36 curls that you can get, and that's plenty to go down you know, like the edge of another loaf, and decorate the tops of another loaf for your bars. And this is just some examples of some of the kinds of soap curls that you can get. These came off of this bar, so they're real pretty and they're fun to do. I'm a frou-frou girl, so I do those a lot. One thing you can do, sometimes I'll crinkle cut a bar and just for my soap curls and run it across the planer, and your soap curls come out kind of frilly. I don't know if you can see that. I've got a plate full of them here. Let me see if I can zoom in on that for you a little bit so you can see them. It just gives kind of a frilly aspect to the soap curls and just gives it a little kind of a frou-frou touch. I like it. So anyway, that's how you plane the edges of your bars. And for your beveler just pops on and your screw goes on. Now this is my beveler and it's probably 3 years old or so. Your new bevelers, the only difference is that this screw is going to be in here with a bolt, and that's the only difference in them. I'm just using my planer because we get along really well together. So the other thing I want to tell you is about your soap cure. I usually wait at least 10 days before I start planing my soaps. You can do it sooner, but what's going to happen is your soap is going to be fresher, so it's a lot more moisture in it, and it will have a tendency to gum up under the blade here. And I mean, you can do it. It'll just be a little messier and a little more cleanup. So I like to, if I'm not in a hurry, wait at least 10 days and probably not more than about 3 weeks, just so that I don't have to worry about my corners and all that kind of stuff. So 10 days to 3 weeks is what I recommend. So now with your beveler, this beveler is set at a 45-degree angle. It's very easy to use. No more trying to hold a steady hand while you use your potato peeler. Although I've seen some women doing it with potato peeler, it's remarkable, but I cannot. So you hold your bar against the bar and do just like you did with your planing. Just keep it down and push it right across. Now, if you do one swipe, you're going to get mostly just the edges knocked off, the sharp corners, and that's nice. I do that quite a lot, especially with my men's bars. If you go 2 swipes, you're going to get a more defined bevel. And if you go 3 swipes, you're going to get a very good bevel. So I don't know if you can see, that's the 3 swipes. That's just taking the edge off, and that is your 2 bevel. I usually do 2. Like I said, with my men's bar, a lot of times I'll just take off 1. Let's see. Yeah, this one needs it. Okay. Now what I do when I am beveling my bars, since I usually do 2, I'm going to do 2 here. So I do my long sides first. And I save my bottom to do last. And the reason I do this is because it just seems that when you do the bottom last, the bevels cut into the sides of the bar a little cleaner, and I think it's just a better look. So for me, sides first, bottoms last. And trying to find a bar that you can really see on the camera that's been beveled. This is one that I did. It's my apple strudel, and I did bevel this one all the way around. I thought maybe it was dark enough that you could see the bevels really well. So I planed this one all the way around. So anyway, there's your bevels. The last thing I want to show you is cleaning up your beveler. When I clean my beveler, I always remove my beveler because soap will get caught in here and down here, whether you can see it or not, and you really need to get it off. The fragrance oils and essential oils and just the soap itself can eat away at the finish, and you want to keep it as clean as possible so it'll last you a good long time. Like I said, I've had this one a little over 3 years, and it's in wonderful shape. So for the planer, the cutting blade goes this way, so I'm going to wipe it in this direction. And the soap will come right off of it. I get a lot of fabric in between me and my fingers, and I'll just give it one little swipe across there. Now I turn it over, and I will go in here and just wipe across. If you find any little pieces of soap that are sticking in here, you can use a toothpick, or you can get a toothbrush or something to just go in and loosen up those pieces of soap and get them out of there. Just give it an extra little swipe and dry it. And that's all you have to do. Same thing on the beveler. Just wipe the bar off, and you're done. And that's all there is to cleaning it. Now the beveler is made with a waterproof sealant on it, and it works really well. But like I said, you've got your fragrance oils, essential oils, and soap that are coming in contact with it all the time, so you do need to keep it clean. Keep your blade dry. If you ever do get notice a little piece of rust showing up on your blade, all you need to do is get 4/0 steel wool, a little oil on it, and just rub the little piece of rust off, and that's it. Don't leave it there. You want to clean it off, and it'll be good to go. Do not immerse this in water. It won't take it being put into hot soapy water and then set on a dish drainer to dry. You'll end up with warping, so you always want to make sure you just clean it off the way I did. It comes clean very nicely. When you get your, I don't have any in here, I thought I did. When you get your planer, you're going to have a piece of tape over the blade that says "Caution Exposed Blade." That's painter's tape. It's usually either blue or green. We do have a special masking tape that is tan that we use once in a while. But those tapes will not leave a residue on your board. It's good to just stick that tape back on there when it's not in use, so that when people reach in a cupboard or something, they're not coming anywhere near that. It's protected. So That's all I have to show you today. I hope you've learned a little bit about how to make your soap curls and plane your soaps, and a little bit about some safety tips and cleaning. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoy your planer, Beveler, and thank you very much. Happy soaping!